It's Adrian Bowe, Head of Sales for NG Farah, and I'm delighted to bring the inaugural market news for September. We'll be coming to you each month, and I'm here very pleased to be with one of the co-founders, Glenn Farah. How are you, Glenn?
Good, Adrian. How are you going?
Excellent, mate, excellent.
Very interesting time.
It is, yeah. September, a lot of people would have written off, but obviously just given COVID, which has been very unfortunate for a lot of people, the value of people's housing in terms of how they value it with their family and working from home has obviously been really critical.
There's definitely more value on the home because people have been forced to stay in the home, and there is no way in the world that we could have predicted the sales turnover that we're doing at the moment. Going to COVID, it was definitely uncharted territory, and we all braced ourselves for a difficult time, but now, 6 months down the track, looking at our sales figures, quite extraordinary.
Yeah, part of me is not surprised, Glenn, because you and I have all got the battle scars from all these black swan events, which I call from, be it 9/11, GFC, recession, double-digit interest rates, and the eastern suburbs property market, as you know, has always bounced back. So partly not surprising.
It's stock. If you're an agent in the marketplace, the key dynamic that you need to have is quality stock. We'd really like to share some of that data with our audience because it's critical information, especially if you're buying or selling.
Absolutely, and we really see it as our obligation to provide this as a community service, really.
Well, it is. Everyone's after that information. Everyone wants to know what that home sold for, and it's ironic hearing neighbours telling people what properties sold for, but we've got the data. We can tell them what they're selling for, and it will make a difference to people.
Definitely. All right, let's have a look at some of the September highlights.
Well, I think personally, this is a sale that you're involved in yourself, and it's in our core market, Maroubra, but 73 Torrington Road at Maroubra, a semi-cottage, just under $3 million. It's hard to believe that you've just sold a semi in Maroubra for just under $3 million.
Yeah, it was a very competitive auction, Glenn. We had 4 serious registered parties guiding around that 2728, and some robust bidding brought it up to that 2975. Very close to the beach, which is a positive, but lack of yard in the rear, but did have rear lane access, but good accommodation and obviously well appointed throughout. So not surprising, but nonetheless, it wasn't that long ago, only a number of years ago, that semis were worth 1.5–2 million, and now you're talking close to 3 million in Maroubra.
It's a lifestyle property, as you said, but more importantly, we need to compliment the vendors on the presentation. A sale that I was really interested in, made by Martin Farah, 33 Walsh Avenue, Maroubra.
Yes.
Semi-cottage in the Maroubra Junction, came on the market. Within 48 hours, it sold for 2.105. What an amazing result.
It just goes to show how much growth Maroubra has achieved as a Maroubra boy, born and bred like you. Yeah. It's amazing how we've seen the gentrification of a suburb like that. And frankly, I still think there's heaps of value to go in Maroubra.
It's got a lot of upside. More importantly, the beach plays a really big role on how people think. People love to be connected with the beach. Even though that property wasn't near the beach, it was closer to the junction. What I was really, really impressed about, the teamwork within the team, yes. How they generated a buyer, they found that buyer, and really saved the vendor all the marketing. Vendor sells the property within 48 hours. They get a price in excess of their expectations. That's a great story.
Well, the interesting thing, as you know, Glenn, each day, as soon as a property is listed, there's an email alert that goes out to the sales team. One of our sales agents picked up on that, spoke to a buyer's agent, introduced the buyer's agent to the property, and that buyer's agent's client bought the property. So a lot of people talk about teamwork, but this is an authentic team that actually walks their talk.
You've been in the market a long time, and you're a great addition, head of sales to our business. There's no doubt the impact that you've made, but you see the teamwork within the company, and I think that differentiates us between Farah's and the rest of the marketplace.
Yeah, well look, it's quite cliche. A lot of people talk about teamwork, but it's another thing doing it.
It's good news for the vendors anyway. Let's have a look at some of the other strong sales. A sale down at 1 Varna Street, Clovelly, 3.4 million, wasn't on the market too long. Tell me about the Clovelly area, Adrian. You know the Clovelly area.
Clovelly is an anomaly for the East. It's small in geography. The turnover is minimal. The proximity to the beach is extraordinary, and that beach has evolved now to quite the hotspot. For a lot of people, you got the contrast of sand plus that paved area where people can sort of hang out and bring their families through. There's no waves, so it's not a surfing beach, so it's perfect for kids. It really is one of the most revered suburbs in that eastern coastal belt, in my opinion.
It's no wonder Clovelly is just taking it to another level. So another great sale by Martin Farah down there at 1 Varna Street. Another sale that you're involved in, Adrian, I saw that last week. I went to the auction at 8 Jark Street at Kingsford. You and Joe Reset were involved in. Only 230 square metres of land or around that. Yeah. Tell me about that property, Adrian. I was impressed with the auction, but more importantly, I was impressed with the price.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lack of brand new housing. Obviously, there's a lot of units which get developed, but the developer was quite smart in developing 2 homes, so they're modern semis, if you like, but quite wide as you saw it, and the proportions of a freestanding home. It's certainly not surprising to have a modern style, brand new home sell for over the reserve at $2,325,000.
Great result. Vendors were very happy on the day. Another property that I did the auction was down at number 43 Dudley Street at Pagewood. An original home in a quiet cul-de-sac. Vendors' expectations were between 1.6 and 1.7. One thing about this home that I was really impressed with was the location. It was a really solid property. Views towards the back of the property over East Lakes Golf Course. On the day we sold it for 1,756, and Pagewood, East Botany, still underdone in terms of price, but does offer a lot of value to buyers who maybe were looking in Maroubra, looking at semis in Maroubra and thinking, well, it's just, I'm being priced out of the market.
That's right.
Another sale down in Matraville. You did that last weekend. Ken Smith, who's been with the company for 28 years. Yes. We all love Ken. What a great sale that was down at Eastern Avenue at Eastern Road at Matraville. Tell us about the property. Tell us your thoughts on the sale.
I enjoyed conducting that auction, Glenn. I mean, the house was built in 1973. It was very authentic in its nature. It hadn't been touched since then, but certainly the features of it, even though there was some nostalgia to it, the construction, as you know, in the 70s, Glenn, is double if not triple brick all the way throughout. Terrific competition amongst 4 registered parties there, and it did slow down into that $1,000 bids, as you know, and we crept just over the reserve price, and we ended up getting $1,701,000. And what a great little pocket Matraville's proven to be as a sister suburb to Maroubra.
Sister suburb, you said it, adjoining Heffron Park. They're not far from Heffron Park. Good access straight into the city, not too far from the beaches. Matraville is definitely a hot spot. If you're looking for property around that Maroubra area, you find you're being priced out of the market. East Matraville, definitely a spot that you need to look at. I also noticed a sale down at Birdwood Avenue. We can't disclose the price. Our vendors have asked us not to disclose the price. It is a record for the area. Theo Karangis, again with Nick Uvari, team effort between the Coogee guys. They did a great effort. It was a wonderful home. It was the highest price achieved in Pagewood. So in these uncertain times, to be breaking records in Torrington Road, to be breaking records in Pagewood, it's a great thing for the company, but more importantly, it's a great thing for our vendors.
Yeah, I think it just proves that the old cliche of supply and demand. I know it sounds cliche, but frankly, there are more buyers than there are sellers.
The banks have made it difficult for buyers, and that's going to change. Yep. That's definitely going to add a bit more potency into the marketplace, without a doubt. Just reviewing, well, listen, we made quite a few sales in the month of September. A lot of them were strong sales. We've highlighted the ones that we think stood out amongst the crowd. Anything there that you see, Adrian, before we close this?
I think it was really exciting to see the Elevate development at Randwick, which was number 2 Landfoy Street. What a great effort amongst 3 agents, myself, Cameron Airley and Martin Farah. As you know, previous agents had it listed for over 12 months. we swooped in there and had them all sold within a matter of weeks for great prices, and it was a terrific development, as you know. I mean, all of them had private elevator access into the townhouse, very low strata rates, terrific boutique development right in that heart of Randwick Junction there. So I think that was terrific to see the last one of those sales be confirmed as an exchange in the last 8-week period that we've managed to secure those sales.
Sitting on the sideline watching the company list these townhouses, knowing that they'd been for sale before, seeing you guys work as a team, there's nothing that gratifies me more. Great sale. We must remember, Randwick is the epicentre of the eastern suburbs. It really has a lot of facilities. People love that Randwick area.
Obviously, you've got the racecourse, you've got the university, you've got the light rail, you've got the racetrack, you've got the hospital. I mean, there's just so many amenities there.
It's one of the best performing suburbs in the southeastern suburbs. I'll leave it to you to wrap it up now, Adrian.
Yeah, I think that's terrific for September. Again, this was the inaugural NG Farah News as a monthly summary to you, and we certainly look forward to seeing you next month. And if you'd like to reach out to any of our agents, please feel free to do so. We'd love to hear from you. And again, we are a family, community-based business, and we are certainly here to get you the best price if you're selling, secure the best rental if you're renting, and if you're a buyer or tenant, also support you significantly in order to help your needs as well. So thanks again.
Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen.